Hey y'all. So today we're going to talk a little bit about what I call spiritual weightlifting and why it is important. So, if you are the type of person that wants to strengthen your connection to yourself, to your inner self, strengthen your connection to spirit, God, universe, spiritual weightlifting is something that I practice to do so. So when you're lifting weights in real life, you have to do repetitions, especially for example, like if you're working out your arms, weightlifting, um, you have to go through a series of up and down movements. And in that same way, spiritual weightlifting is very similar to that. You have to go through up and downs. You have to go through the good and the bad of life. Just ebb and flow of life is a big part of spiritual weightlifting, and we all do it subconsciously, I think. Not really being aware of it, but definitely when you become aware of it, you start to do it more consciously. So, what is it? In my opinion, so spiritual weightlifting, in my opinion, would be consciously dealing with the downs, the trials, the conflict, whatever those things are that we give a bad connotation to, or not a pleasurable not pleasurable things that happen in our lives. Those are the downs, and that would be, you're lifting weights, you go up and you come down. And when you come down is not really a indicator of your strength. And physically and spiritually, it's not really an indication of your strength. Now, it could be in the sense of you being able to hold that weight coming down, but spiritually, I guess it could be an indicator of your strength also, in a different way. Just your ability to hold that weight and deal with that weight in a way where you're not crumbling under that weight, you're not losing your balance under that weight. Those are going to be all the things that happen in your life where you're not having fun. These are the times where you're learning lessons. Now, the thing is, you don't stay there. You hear people say all the time, you go through downs in life, but the most important part is that you don't stay there, and it's very true. Because if you stay there and not get back up, then you stay stagnant. You don't get stronger. You won't get more connected with your inner self and God, the universe. Whatever connection you already have, it will stay there for a certain amount of time. But if you decide not to pick it back up, you decide not to keep moving, you decide not to push that weight back up to strengthen yourself, then you're going to stay stagnant. And not only that, but eventually you're going to be weaker, because I know it's another cliche saying, but if you don't use it, you lose it. And I have personally kind of experienced this in my life, where I got to a point where I was meditating very frequently, and then I kind of fell off. And then when I went back to meditate after some time, it wasn't hard it wasn't difficult because I had stopped doing it, but it definitely was different. I wasn't as still in the inside. I wasn't as still as I was before, and it was just a lot louder in my mind because I had not practiced my meditation for a long time. But once you have encountered those downs, you have encountered those conflict, those negative situations in your life, what you have to do is go within. What is it that you're learning from this? What is it that is still inside or in your life or in your habits that you have not dealt with yet? And that can be a very good, I guess you would say, a very good way to be productive, even in those times in life. You feel like, well, this is going on and that's going on and I can't get anything done. You can. It might not be anything physical that you can get done, but you can definitely take time to learn more about yourself and your life. And then when you take that time to do the inner work, which is the benefit of those downs in life, those negative situations, that's when you kind of like renew your mind. What is it that you need to do differently? What is it that you need to see differently? What is it that you need to say differently? And that is the part of spiritual weightlifting when you start lifting the weight back up. Now, when you lift weights in real life, once you have gotten past a certain level where that weight is not a challenge for you anymore, that's when you add more weight so that you can get stronger. And if you don't want to add more weight, and I can't say this for sure because I don't lift weights, not anymore, but if you don't want to add more weight, you don't have to. You're just not going to get any stronger. You're going to stay at that level of strength that you're already at. But in a physical sense, you have control over that, complete control. But in the spiritual sense, in the spiritual realm, you don't quite have 100% control over that, because life is always gonna throw things at you. So that would be putting more weight on yourself. But you're not always in control of that, because like I said, life will always throw things at you. And so you kind of have to draw on the strength that you have already built. That all that spiritual weightlifting that you did, last month or last year, you would have continue to build on that strength, or continue to maintain that strength rather. And then when life throws things at you, it's a good way to see if you have been maintaining that strength, that spiritual muscle, or not. But in the same sense, if you haven't really been practicing that strength, you learned the lesson but you didn't apply it, then it's going to show the next time life throws things at you, to try and see, where you at, where's your connection at, how strong is your connection to yourself, to God, to source. So this is why it's really important. If you want to become more connected to yourself, you want to be a stronger spiritual person, spiritual mind, you have to be able to deal with the things that life throws at you, learn the lessons from those things, and apply those lessons. And it takes us a while. It takes us a while, and it takes us a few times to get it. And that's where the repetitions come in. You do 25 reps, 3 sets, whatever. It's the same thing in your spiritual life. You you will, and these would be cycles rather than repetitions. It's the terminology that I like to use. You go through these cycles where you're kind of dealing with similar situations over time, and they don't necessarily get harder. It just gets easier for you to deal with those situations. And that's where your strength comes in, when you continue to consciously deal with these situations and get to a point where you're responding and dealing with these situations at the highest vibration possible for you, for your personal and soul growth. So it's very important to be aware of the cycles that you are going through and aware of how you are dealing with them. Are you getting better? Are you getting worse? Are you just staying the same? Is nothing changing? That's part of your spiritual weightlifting, for you to be stronger as a spiritual person. So I hope that this helped y'all out, give y'all a little bit of inspiration, help y'all, connect some dots in your life. But I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Be well.